on here? Oh, that's the problem. Here. Boom. Let's try that. How's that working? Alright, did that work? Did that work? Can you hear me now? There should be sound now. Alright, I'm gonna give it a minute. Yeah, how's that? Yep, yeah, now you can hear me. Great, there we go. Yeah, I noticed, like, I've gotten a lot more cautious about the mic lately, because there have been times where I screwed up with it. Fortunately, I had my eye on there's a little thing at the bottom that shows, if you're getting audio input, and it wasn't moving at all, so I was like, am I muted? And then I checked, and you guys were like, yep, muted, so I had to reset that, but I'm glad that's fixed. Hello, everyone! Hello! Just watched the Percy Jackson movies and they are trash. No argument there. Oh, Gamer Cacatron the Potato Salad Elf is here! Yay! Thank you for the donation. Guess who's back? Back again. It's good to see you. Potato Salad Elf has been in a lot of live videos back in the day. Back when, even when I had, in the early tens of thousands of subscribers. Yes, the Percy Jackson movies are indeed trash. Absolutely agree with that. Ban Soulbreaker for spam. I'm not seeing any spam right now, so like when I come in and I'll that's when I check. Yeah, if anybody really spams the chat while I'm on it, then I'll give them a warning, and if they don't concede to the warning, then they're out. Hello. You good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I feel pretty good. You ever play Hades? Yeah, I did a video on this channel kind of bragging that I got every single achievement in the game, and it only took a shit ton of time. Rate the Peter Johnson movies? Bro, they're awful. The first one is probably a 4 out of 10, and the second one is probably a 2 out of 10. How are you? I'm okay. Hold on. I want to answer this question real quick. I need to ask, my brother thinks Heracles is Roman. I've been trying to tell him that it's the Greek version, but he won't listen. Okay, is Hercules the Roman or Greek version? You are correct. Hercules is the Roman version. Heracles is the Greek version. I don't know why... I don't know why your brother thinks otherwise. Didn't realize you still remembered me. That means a lot. I'm taking my Mythology GCSE in June next year. Oh, that's great. That's great. No, yeah, Salad Elf, I remember you. You were in the Lore Olympus video. You were in other live videos, and I've seen your comments on some of the lives being sad that you missed them, so I'm glad you're here. It's great. Second Percy Jackson movie is horrible. Oh, yeah, check out my review. I'm sorry, but when is the Godzilla vs. Gods of Olympus video? I'll tell you, it's not anytime soon, because I didn't promise it would be anytime soon. There's there's a review video that I already promised you guys that I need to get done first, and I'm currently working on that. I went and watched it with my friends. We put up a whole, our entire full 2-hour-long commentary of the film up on the Patreon. So if you're a patron, you can check that out. Thoughts on Brahmastra? Watch my trailer reaction if you want to know my thoughts on Brahmastra. Can you help me understand Percy Jackson the Titan's Curse? Well, I don't know what it is you don't understand. Thoughts on Native American mythology? It's awesome. It's really cool. I really would love to see a book or a movie of an alternate universe take where we see what would happen to all the Europeans who came to America if the native monsters were real, and just seeing the horrific horror movie that would be. Nick, thank you for the donation. Love the vids. Thank you. That's very nice. That means a lot to me. Have you read The Myth of Hyacinthus? Yeah, the guy who died because Apollo's disc got cursed by the wind god and hit him, and then he became a plant. I've done a video or two on Hyacinthus, honestly. Hold up, the second Percy Jackson movie wasn't a nightmare? Well, your opinion is your opinion. Are you doing more inaccuracies on God of War? Well, considering everyone and their grandma is asking for it, yes, I will do more of that. I just want to get the Gods of Egypt review done first. I promised that a long time ago. So I gotta finish that. What happened to Set's salad, buddy? Look it up. Or watch one of my 2 videos on it. Do you practice any kind of paganism? No, I do not. I am Christian, personally. But, if you want to practice paganism, you do you. That's how I always feel about that kind of stuff. When's your game coming out? So, yeah, a lot of people asking about that. I'll give you an update on how the game is doing. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm making a mythology-based card game. So, instruction book is now completely done. And now our graphic artist, who has already finalized what the templates will be like in the game, he's finalizing every card. Like, I've sent him all of our artwork and everything for the game, which you guys have seen some of on the Instagram and in the Art Lore vids. So he's fitting all of our artwork into the finalized templates that he created, and finalizing the abilities and types and names that I wrote out. He's inserting them in his graphic artist style, and he's making it look really good. So we're in basically... Game development wise, we're in the final step of finalizing everything about how the game will look. And the only thing that's I could give you like a more concrete release date on when it will come out if we had finalized a manufacturer yet. It's tricky. It's tricky to really find like the right manufacturer for this, and we're still going through who will handle it well. But you can rest assured with the idea that the game is in the final stages, and if we are able to find a manufacturer soon, we'll be able to hit our goal of launching it this year. Will you ever talk about Christian mythology? There's a whole playlist of it on the channel. How come people don't... Wait, hold on. Why don't people talk about European mythology that much? They talk about it all the time. Greek is European, Norse is European, all over the place. People talk about that a lot. If you're talking about Celtic mythology, then yeah, that could use some more attention. But the Legend of King Arthur is Celtic mythology, and that gets talked about all the time. Have you watched The Boys? Yeah, I've watched The Boys. I like it overall. I was a little disappointed with how the last season ended, though. Okay, so before I continue with you guys, I'm going to answer the Patreon questions, because patrons obviously get first serve, because, well... wouldn't be able to make certain videos without these wonderful people. So, we've got what looks like 3 people have asked Patreon questions, so we're going to start with Sunsinger. Alright, Sunsinger asks, what do you think of mythologies from video games, like The Great Journey in Halo, or the story of the gardener and winnower from Destiny? Okay, so, like, I noticed you got, like, 2, like... Was Halo a Bungie game or whatever? 2 Bungie games there. I didn't play Halo growing up, and I started to play Destiny and got tired of it in about 2 hours and stopped playing it. But as for mythology in video games as a whole, really mythology in fictional or fantasy or sci-fi stories as a whole, I always think it's really cool when like a story that's already made to be fiction creates its own mythos. Like the mythos going on in Aragon, which is already inspired by existing mythoses, but they managed to come up with their own stuff. Like the dwarves have a god who I don't think is in anything. Also, Christopher Paolini came up with the Razak, which is really cool. Star Wars has its own mythos with the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, and almost everyone agrees that like opera scene is like the best scene in the prequels. So I really think it's cool when like a work of fiction can come up with its own mythos in that work of fiction. That's always really, really cool. Yeah. So, ever heard of Godzilla in Hell? I have. And, eventually I'll talk about that. So, I have a lot of respect for people who create a whole mythos inside a work of fiction. So, I hope that answers your question. Eddie asks, who is your favorite sky god? Who is my favorite sky god? It's not Zeus. It's not Uranus. I I mean, Sun Wukong is a god of wind, but I don't know if that counts. Um, who is my favorite sky god? I really like Aeolus, but then again, Aeolus is mainly a god of winds rather than the sky. Oh, this is kind of a hard question, actually. I like Nut a lot. That's a sky goddess. Um, I just find the tale of Nut a little bit funny. How she had to hold in her pregnancy. It's like, bro, what the hell? Actually, it might be Zeus purely for the reason that Zeus has a lot of cool stories. But no, come on, can I really not think of a sky god who I like more than Zeus? The thing is, like, a lot of the gods that are coming to my mind are wind gods, not like purely sky gods. Um, oh, I can't think of. Jesus is in the sky. Sure, yeah, actually, you could say that. Oh my god. I mean, if you count Jesus, I guess it would be him. You know, the funny thing is, like, not only like do I like Jesus because I'm Christian, but I actually really like the story of Jesus. Like, I'm not ready to give birth. You're staying inside. Oh, she was ready to give birth. Ra wouldn't let her. Favorite Nordic, Greek, and Indian gods? Nordic would be Loki, Greek would be Hades, Indian would be Kali. Have a nice day. Thank you. Is there a Greek god of cats? Not that I know of. Okay, Gavin Lothar asks, does Zeus have the power of lightning, or does he need the lightning bolts? He needs the lightning bolts, basically. He can't just create lightning from nothing, no matter which version of the myth you go with, because he either needs his master bolt, or he needs the bolts that Hephaestus makes. So, regardless, it's like, yeah, he needs his own bolts. There's two different things about, like whether it's a master bolt or whether it's several bolts that Hephaestus makes, but either way he does need an outside source for it, which is something I pointed out in the God of War 1 inaccuracy video. Hey Ho Donkey Official, thank you so much for that donation. How do you feel about Christian mythology? Well, I am Christian, so I feel like it's the correct one. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I do, but like I have a very, you do you mentality. I don't like tell people what to believe. But yeah, like I think Christian mythology is pretty cool. Octopus King, thank you for the donation. Have you seen Record of Ragnarok? Yes, I did a video on it. You can check that out on the channel. And that's it for the Patreon questions, by the way, so back to you guys. Zeus just uses them as weapons, correct. Who would win, the Norse Pantheon or the Greek Pantheon? Now, I've answered this before. If we're just talking the baseline gods, then probably Norse, because Norse is more like battle ready. But if we're including like all the primordials, Greek would win, because Greek has like these insanely powerful primordials. Plot twist, you're actually Zeus. I'm happy to say that I am not. Greetings from Germany! Can Roman gods die like Norse? Well, hello, Germany. There's no tales of Roman gods dying like Norse. Roman gods are basically the Greek gods again. And they can't die. So, no. The answer would be no. Who would win, Greek or Egyptian? That one's a lot harder to say. Because I feel like Ra is more powerful than Zeus. Because Ra can literally create gods, as I've said. Like, Ra has a lot more power than Zeus. And Egypt does have the primordial Ma'at. So it's all a question of which do you think is more powerful, Ma'at from Egypt or Chaos from Greece? It's actually kind of poetic, if you think about it. Tell us the pigotry joke. Well, I said in a video a while back that Set once took the form of a pig in mythology, and because of that, there were some Egyptians who just assumed every pig was Set, so they would leave pigs out of ceremonies because, like, they didn't want Set to be in their ceremony. And I said, "Hey, you don't judge all the pigs for what Set did. That's bigotry or pigotry." So yeah, that was the joke. Can you do best? I don't know what you mean by do best. You mean do videos on best? I've done videos on best. Can you make skits on the Valar from the Tolkien verse? I might. I'm actually trying to make a big video about Tolkien because of the Rings of Power show coming out. I wanted to like make a video, a big video on all the myths and religion stuff that inspired Tolkien to write Lord of the Rings. So I was thinking about doing that. What animal is Set? All of them. Set can be any animal. My Mr. Krabs lives in his crusty crib. True. Have you ever played Until Dawn? Yeah, long time ago. And I want to stream it, but since I already know what's going to happen, I thought it would be more fun to make Wilda play it. Especially because Wilda gets scared of horror stuff. I think that would be entertaining for you guys. I'm going to make Wilda play it and like make her make all the decisions, but I'll just be there like... How is Thor able to shatter Yggdrasil by slapping Jormungandr so hard on it? Well, one, Norse myth is highly inconsistent, and two, Mjolnir, Jormungandr is the size of the Earth, so I can believe he'd be able to break Yggdrasil. And Thor is insanely powerful and has gloves that are also doubling his strength, so yeah. Played the Horizon games? Yeah, I love them. They're great. Can you talk about your trading card game? I actually just did earlier, but I'll talk about it a little more. Sorry, I think one of my hairs got in my mouth. My favorite gods are Hades and Sun Wukong, by the way. Someone was asking. Can you do an episode on Set? Several done already. Just go to the channel search bar, type in Set, you'll see all the videos. So my game, the game I'm making, is a game where what you do is you summon characters from mythology from your hand as you draw them from your deck over time, kind of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic. And you can play like monsters or warriors from your hand without cost, but if you want to play minor gods or gods, you're going to have to sacrifice monsters and warriors that you already have present, because minor gods and gods are a lot more powerful. Gaming Truge, thank you for that donation. And there's no message, so yeah, feel free to put a message if you want. Drumnik, come on, like, stop, like, what are you doing? So in my game, like, you summon characters from myth and they attack each other, and if your characters have more power than your opponents, you win the battle, and your opponent's units die, and you get points every time you kill your opponent's units. You can make your units more powerful by giving them equip cards like Zeus's Lightning Bolt, or Poseidon's Trident, or Sun Wukong's Staff. And also some units buff each other. Like if you put Hephaestus down, he makes everyone's equip cards stronger, because, you know, he builder, obviously, and stuff like that. So that's something about the game. Okay, Cybertronian Mobian, thank you for the donation. Out of curiosity, have you considered fictional mythology, and if so, what would you like to investigate? If I was going to look deeper into a fictional mythology, it would probably be the Star Wars one, like really look into Darth Plagueis and Bane and everything. So that's the one I would go with. Rebel Commander, Star Wars Jurassic. Wow, I was just talking about Star Wars. Thank you for the donation. Isn't Maui a demigod and not a god? Do I not understand? Actually, from what I can tell in the actual myth, he does seem to be a full god, but sometimes people still call him a demigod. It's kind of confusing. I think I need to read a little more Polynesian mythology to really learn how their hierarchy works. Like, I'm very confident in how the Greek, Egyptian, Norse, and the main hierarchies I know work. But, like, Polynesian I haven't, like, finished studying, so it's a little hard to say. But from what I can tell, it seems like Maui is like a full god. I don't know why they call him a demigod, but maybe I'm missing something. Gamer Kakatron asked earlier, what are your thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons? I think it's a fun game to dick around in, but I really don't have the patience to, like, play through, like, a whole thing, like, as I've learned from several attempts. Maybe if someone made a really short campaign. Oh, and there's Gamer Kakatron again with a donation. Thank you. We need more Hestia! Don't waste my money, Andrew! Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, my real name is Andrew. Favorite God of War game? It's hard to say. It's either the third one or the fourth one. When I first played the fourth one, that was my favorite right then and there because I just thought it was like such a great change of pace. But God of War 3 is just so epic. Like, it's got so much epic stuff in it. But it might still be the fourth one, because, you know, I really love playing that game, like, a lot. Like, and I love that they made it open world. Added a ton of replay value. The Greatest Demigod, thank you for the donation. What are all the mythologies you know? Ooh, okay. Around when will your card game come out? And will you sell it on any other online shops other than Kickstarter? Okay, so that's a question with a few parts. So, at launch, it will only be on Kickstarter because we need to fund it to get it out there. But eventually, I'd like to have another way to sell it as well. It's, as I said earlier, we're aiming to release it this year, but in order to do that, we have to nail down a manufacturer soon. And if we don't, then hopefully it'll come out pretty early next year. What are all the mythologies I know? Well, I know Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Norse, Aztec, about half of Mayan, Chinese, Japanese, Hindu, Christianity, obviously, Celtic, about half of Native American, about half of Polynesian, a little bit of Persian, a little bit of Slavic, a little bit of African, a little bit of Taino, Zoroastrianism is just Persian again. Yeah, that's it, I guess. So there you go. Oh, Mesopotamian also. Sorry about that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Chad Braswell, thank you for the donation. Could you read and review the Frith Chronicles series? I've received some requests for that, and I do plan to eventually get to that. It's just I've got a lot of other stuff I need to finish first. Okay. Lane, thank you for the donation. God Guan Yu versus Sun Wukong. Oh, I really think Sun Wukong would win that, to be honest. Dude, the Jade Emperor couldn't figure out how to kill Sun Wukong. It took Buddha himself to outsmart him. Like, no one was able to beat him in a physical fight or anything like that. So I think Sun Wukong has that. Please do not spam the chat. I'll answer your question, and then I expect this spam to stop. Have you ever seen or read Berserk? It is a fantasy based with some mythological aspects. If you have not, would you consider it? Yes, I would consider it. That has also been requested other times. I have a big list in the notes on my phone of things people have asked me to look into or check out, and Berserk is one of them. Do you like Finnish mythology? I know a teeny bit of Finnish, not a ton yet. I need to look more into that. Why do people call Hercules instead of Heracles? Because Hercules is the name the Romans created, and the Roman Empire was so influential that the name Hercules became a little more known. And so since then it's been used so much in media that now it's been very, very normalized. Thor versus Heracles? Oh, that's hard. I honestly don't know. It depends on who has Mjolnir, honestly. I feel either of them could lift it. But I think whoever has Mjolnir is going to break the tie there. Is Chaos omnipotent? I mean, I don't think anyone in Greek myth is omnipotent, but Chaos is kind of everything. Like, Chaos is everything and nothing. He's literally Chaos. There's no way to really answer questions like that about him. What's my favorite type of mythology? A mythology with a lot of awesome stories and freaky monsters. So, you know, stuff like Japanese. Cybertronian, thank you, another donation. Wait, is native mythology similar or different by tribes? So each tribe has their own set of beliefs, but, you know, they are, like, similar enough that you could, like, lump them all together, and I think it would still work as a whole, at least as much as, you know, other cultures do, because other mythologies, even mythologies like Greek, are also a bunch of different, like, cities, like, who each had their own beliefs that are all, like, lumped together. So, you know, some people say, oh, you shouldn't lump the Native American tribes together. It's like, every mythology is that. China has so many different groups and stuff. There's Taoism and all this other stuff, and we lump all that together, so I think it's fair to, like, just lump Native American mythology together. Yeah, just like, Christianity is a mixture of, like, I think it's fine to mix, like, Catholicism and Protestant and all that other jazz. Thoughts on Persian mythology? From what I've seen so far, it's looking pretty badass. Omnipotent beings from Hindu mythology. I mean, I think the High Trinity at sometimes is insinuated that they could be omnipotent, but they also aren't, because there are certain things they can't do unless they go down to Earth in avatar form, so it's really hard to say. Could Jesus beat Zeus? Jesus wouldn't fight anybody, so, like, we'll never know. Can you make more if the gods had Tinder? I want to see Amaterasu's profile. Yeah, I should really get back into that. The truth is, Wilda was a big part of that series, so I wouldn't want to do it without her. She, like, came up with almost all the jokes in that. So, yeah, like, that's kind of Wilda's series, in my opinion. So, I wouldn't want to do it without her. And she's been kind of busy lately. She's sick right now, and I hope she comes out of it okay. But yeah, so that's how the Tinder series works. Yo, what's up? What's up with you? Hey, Captain Omni's back. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for the donation. Funny thing, Hercules ended up being the Roman word for god of strength, so pretty much unrelated to Hera. I'm seeing Herc going to Hera saying, I'd say it was a fun being Heracles, but that would be a lie! Oh, that's great. That's legit great. Tyson versus Dumbledore? I think Dumbledore's got that one, man. Is Thor still angry at Jesus for never showing up? That's a Magnus Chase joke, and you'd have to ask Rick Riordan. Opinion on Watchmen? Watchmen's pretty freaking awesome. Like, I love that comic. I really liked the movie, honestly. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Watchmen. I haven't watched the HBO series because I thought it looked awful. So, yeah. Hindu versus Greek gods. It depends on who would win, like Shiva or Chaos, again, because Shiva's the most powerful Hindu god. But, it might give it to Hindu. What's the deal with Scientology? It's stupid. That's what the deal with it is. And I openly shit on Scientology because it's literally a scam, and I hate scammers so much. My internet was out for 7 minutes. What did I miss? You missed me sitting here answering questions. Cybertronian, thank you for another donation. Last question. When people say Balder equals Jesus, and then a question mark. Okay, so a lot of people equate Balder to Jesus, and Christianity did because of a few things. Christianity did influence later Norse myths and culture, and it was this tale of Jesus dying and then rising again did help to inspire the tale of Balder dying and then rising again after Ragnarok. And also, Jesus is basically a perfect being in a lot of people's ideas, and Balder is basically a perfect being in a lot of people's ideas. So that's why people equate Balder with Jesus, because Jesus, the tale of Jesus, inspired the later tales of Norse myth and Balder, and Satan inspired the later tales of Loki, where they made him more evil. Lane, thank you for the donation. But Guan Yu is also Bodhisattva like Guan Yin. Yeah, Guan Yu's freaking incredible. I mean, if you're asking if he could outsmart Sun Wukong, then possibly. But I thought you were asking who would win, in a fight. So, why is Santa fat? I honestly don't know. I guess I would have to look into that. Lane, thank you for another donation. That state makes Guan Yu omnipotent and omniscient. Alright, yeah, you know what, if we're going by that ideology, then I guess Guan Yu would win. Okay, Soulbreaker, if you don't stop that spamming, I'm going to have to ban you from the chat. I know this, you're not going to hear this right when I say it, so I'll give you about a minute to stop spamming. Ravan versus Mahishasura. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think Ravan would win, potentially. What do you think of Bloodborne? Haven't played it yet, but I want to. Thoughts on Frey and Apollo? What, as a couple? I feel like that would be a very bright relationship. Zeus versus Odin. I think Odin would win that fight. Cowboy Devil, thank you for the donation. Thoughts on mesotheism, which means hatred for divinity. I mean, I'm sure some people have their reasons. So long as you're not going up to like religious people and shitting on them for being religious, then and the same, and it goes both ways. Like if you're religious and you're going around shitting on people for not being religious, or you're shitting on people for having a religion that isn't yours, then then I don't like you. But if you have your own like thoughts and you just handle them your way and not like hurt other people as a result, then you do you. That's always my thought. Okay, you guys ask me a lot of versus questions. Let's make something perfectly clear. I didn't write these damn stories, so I'm not like some power scaling expert. Like, it's I don't know. Mr. Mythology Guy, you need to do... what? Oh no, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. You need to do a video about the inaccuracies in Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, or Valhalla. I can try to do that. It's hard to say that Origins had any mythology accuracies. I don't actually... Look, I haven't played Odyssey and Valhalla, but I don't think Origins has any inaccuracies, to be completely honest with you. I mean, unless you count, like, the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC, where there's pharaohs rising from the dead, and I can say, oh, pharaohs didn't actually rise from the dead. That's it. There's your inaccuracies video on that one. When will you do God of War 3 Mythological Inaccuracies? Like I said, let me finish the Gods of Egypt review, and then I'll try to get back into the God of War Inaccuracy videos. I do, also, there's another review I want to do in time for Halloween, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's a review of a Halloweeny movie that I completely hate, and I'd like to get the review out before a certain other movie comes out. So, yeah, but you're the mythology guy, so it's like asking for a professional's opinion on who would win in a versus. That being said, Helios versus Apollo. Okay. Helios versus Apollo. I might give that one to Helios just because, well, actually, no, wait, like, I was going to say give it to Helios, because sometimes Helios' head is depicted as the sun itself, and... No, you know what, yeah, I'll give it to Helios, because the sun itself is the most powerful fucking thing in the universe. So yeah, let's give it to Helios. Which Pantheon should be most feared? Whichever one turns out to be real. Like... Mr. Mythology Guy, please play Team Fortress 2. I'm sorry, I don't plan to. What do you think of Apollo versus Frey? I think Frey would win that. Frey kicked a whole bunch of ass during Ragnarok using only a deer antler. I think Frey's kind of a badass. I already answered the Tyson versus Dumbledore. As an Apollo kid, I'm offended. Sorry. Thoughts on Slavic mythology. So, there's some really cool Slavic stuff. The Slavic gods are really badass. Like, Perun is a total badass. Veles and Chernobog and shit like that. And yes, Chernobog, like, is the name that they used for the Disney version of Satan. Also, Slavic creatures, like, can be a lot of fun. Like, Baba Yaga is a lot of fun, and, yada yada. So yeah, that's my thoughts currently on Slavic myth. In Greek mythology, what are the consequences of killing a god? No one's ever killed a god. Who can kill a god? No one. Nothing. No god has ever died in Greek myth. That's not how Greek myth works. Thoughts on Freya and Aphrodite together? Oh, Esteban Nunez, I just noticed that was you. Weren't you, didn't you used to tag me in a bunch of stuff on TikTok? That's cool. Thoughts on Freya dating Aphrodite? I don't think Freya would date Aphrodite, to be honest. Freya's, Freya's, not always dignified, but she's a lot more dignified than Aphrodite is. I mean, like, I think Freya would disapprove of the shitty way Aphrodite behaves. Who is the strongest god? Okay, well, if we're including monotheistic religions, then, and I don't say this because I'm Christian, I say this, and I'll tell you why. I think it would be the Christian god because he's omnipotent and omniscient. But then again, I guess you can make the argument Buddha and Guan Yu are also like that. So, but we can talk about that all day. But in every version of like the Christian God, he is omnipotent and omniscient. But if we're going by polytheistic religions, then I honestly think it's either Chaos or Shiva. What's the Leviathan? The Leviathan is like the ultimate sea monster from Abrahamic myth. Thoughts on Spanish myths? I'm sorry, I don't really know Spanish myths. So I'm afraid I can't really get on that one. Who is the weakest pantheon? Given how insane pantheons are, I don't know which... Is Scientology. It's just an alien king named Xenu. Like, yeah. Fuck him. Like... Oh no, the weakest pantheon is the atheist one. They don't have any gods. There you go. That's your weakest pantheon. Favorite Greek god? Hades. And second favorite would be Heracles. Yes, I tag you in a lot of stuff. Okay, there we go, Esteban. What's the behemoth? It's so the Leviathan is the ultimate sea monster from Abrahamic myth. The behemoth is the ultimate land monster from Abrahamic myth. That's how it works, basically. Cool Chinese myths. Journey to the West. Check that shit out. That shit is amazing. Also, you can check out the Eight Immortals tale. That's a cool one. Or check out the tales of the four legendary evils. I do like those ones. Is Pestilence a horseman of the apocalypse? So it depends on the version you go with. So the horsemen of the apocalypse are death, war, famine, and then the fourth one is a little inconsistent. Sometimes the fourth one is known as conquest. Like, and conquest is the horseman who rides the white horse. He uses a bow. However, sometimes instead of being conquest, he's known as pestilence, and he wields poison arrows in his bow. Still rides a white horse, though. But the reason it's some conquest is also known as pestilence is because pestilence, disease, conquers your body. So disease is a form of conquest. So I personally like to think that pestilence is just what they were going for is that pestilence is like an aspect of conquest. So that's how that works. The most powerful pantheon? I don't know. Out of the polytheistic ones, probably the Hindu one. Read wishful thinking. Okay. What element would you choose for dictatorship and military power? Well, I wouldn't choose any dictatorship. That's so that there's your answer, I guess. This is the busiest chat I've ever been on for you. It's usually about 80 of us. I've not been here for a while. Yeah, I'm truly humbled by how big the audience has gotten. And I'm sorry, I know there are some people in the chat who I'm not going to be able to, I'm sure I'll never be able to get to your question. And I do feel terrible about that. I remember back in the day I used to answer every single question I could get to in the chat. And, but it's just not realistic anymore, and it bums me out. But that's why, we have the Patreon messages. That's why we have the Discord also, where you guys can always message me. I'm a little behind on that, but I'm going to try to catch up on it today. And that's why I try to go through the YouTube comments when I can. So I try to, and plus I'm on Twitch every Wednesday, so, you guys can always message me there. We're always caught up on that chat, because that's a smaller one. So, yeah, there's a lot of ways you guys can get my info. New sub? Thank you. Geeky Metalhead, thank you for the donation. Do you intend on doing a God of War 3 myth inaccuracies count? Man, everyone's asking about that today. Also, what mythology can you read many times and not be bored? Okay, so I have technically read Greek many times and never gotten bored, so I guess that's one of your answers, but I also didn't get bored at all reading Japanese because that one's crazy. And I didn't get, I didn't get bored with most mythologies that I read, honestly. But I guess the main one would be Greek because I've already done it. So here's your answer. To answer your, do I plan on doing a God of War 3 Myth Inaccuracies count? So I always try to do, like, my most requested videos. And everyone and their goofy-headed grandma is asking for God of War 3, so what do you think's gonna happen? Can Wukong handle both Zeus and Odin? Oh, I wouldn't put it past him. Thoughts on Odin and Zeus together? Man, what's with all these, thoughts on shipping all these characters? I think that would be awful, Odin and Zeus. That's a recipe for disaster. Oh, Alpha's here from Twitch. Hi, Andrew. Hi to you too, Alpha. Wow, that's so cool. Do you prefer the Iliad or the Odyssey more? Odyssey. I really like adventure stories, and I love all the wacky creatures and characters that are encountered on the Odyssey. Thoughts on Mortal Kombat? I used to love the shit out of Mortal Kombat. I loved the shit out of the franchise growing up. I was the pro at it over at the arcade. I've been playing as Scorpion my whole life. Mortal Kombat 9 is a masterpiece. Mortal Kombat X is good. Mortal Kombat 11 is a piece of shit, and I absolutely hate it, and it made me hate the company. How dare you, NetherRealm? How dare you? My god, Mortal Kombat 11 was so bad, it made me not like NetherRealm Studios anymore, and it made me seriously want to go have a talk with Ed Boon and ask, what the hell are you doing? What the hell? Lane, thank you for the donation. Buddha's powers scale to other major deities? There's no way to scale that. Buddha's connected to any and all things, but he's also a man of peace, so there's really no way to scale that, in my opinion. Is Cthulhu have an uncle stronger than him that eat the universe? Wow, what a question. I don't know enough about Lovecraftian tales to answer that. I'm sorry. Who would win Odin versus Zeus? I said earlier I think Odin would win. Why are you always clearing your throat? Because I'm talking a lot right now, so every now and then I'm going to need to clear my throat. Speaking of which... Give me a second. I'm just going to eat this ice cube. Leviathan versus Jormungandr? Now that's a fight I would pay to see. Cowboy Devil, thank you for the donation. Any stories which appear in two separate mythology? Yeah, here's a great example. The tale of Urashima Taro in Japanese mythology is insanely similar to the tale of the Land of Youth from Celtic mythology. Both have a guy who goes to another land and stays there for a while that doesn't seem long to him, but then he wants to go visit his home, and he marries the princess in that land. He wants to visit his home, but the princess says, okay, but if you go to this land, don't do this thing. He says, I won't do this thing. He goes back home and finds out it's been centuries, and then he freaks out and he does the thing the princess told him not to do, and then he ages, and tragic ending. So there you go. That's a tale that's in two different myths. I am Parrish, thank you for the donation. I'm writing a book about Hephaestus escaping Olympus, and they are upset because he's important. Is this accurate or no? I would love to read that book. That'd be great, because Hephaestus actually is very important and underappreciated. He makes all the shit for all the gods. I'd love to see what would happen when he was gone. That's fantastic. Yeah, make that story. I'll read the shit out of that story. Greatest Demigod, thank you for the donation. Can you do mythical inaccuracy on the Thor series? I plan to, eventually. Yeah, let me finish the God of War games, and then we'll get to Thor. Green Lightbulb, thank you for the donation. How's the card game doing? A lot of people asking that, and I totally get why. I love you guys' excitement for it. It's going well, as I stated earlier, but I'll answer again, because you gave me a donation. We just finished the instruction book. It's all done, and our graphic artist is now putting all of the final artwork into the final templates he created and putting his final font on everything. I've already written out what every card's name, type, power level, and ability and health points will be, and he's just got to copy them in his cool-looking style onto the card templates. So he's finalizing all the cards, and we're trying to... find a manufacturer. And once those two things are done, we're good to go. Could Zeus punish someone by putting them in a human body? Well, Zeus doesn't put people in a human body, but he does have the power to take away someone's immortality and make them mortal, so that's what he would do. What do you think of the MOBA game Smite? I used to play Smite. I played Smite in its very early days because of the mythology stuff, but I really didn't get into it because I'm not a MOBA guy, but everyone wants me to get back into it, so I'll try to get back into it at some point. I'll probably stream it for you guys. Green Light Bulb, another donation, thank you. What is the story of Nike, the Greek god of victory? So Nike is one of the children of Styx and Pallas. Pallas, Titan of Battle, Styx, Spirit of the River Styx. She's actually the sister of Kratos from Greek myth. And, she and her siblings are incredibly powerful deities. And so, but, when Zeus overthrew the Titans, he said, anyone who comes and swears loyalty to me now will be given clemency. And Nike and her siblings were were the first to swear loyalty to Zeus, and so because of that, they were given the highest positions in his regime, and that's why Nike and Kratos are such close, loyal and trusted, warriors of Zeus. So there you go. Rebel Commander 7, thank you for the donation. Pantheon want in Marvel the most. Japanese. I want to see that shit. Also, pirate myths. What about pirate myths? If you're asking what I think of pirate myths, I love pirate myths. I love pirates. And, yeah, I'm always down for more of that shit. If they want to put that in Marvel, hell yeah. Opinion on dinosaurs? I love dinosaurs. Okay, people keep asking about God of War 3 inaccuracies. I'll do it. Let me finish the Gods of Egypt video first. Zeus versus Osiris? Oh, Zeus. Osiris is a fucking idiot who gets in a box when his evil brother tells him to. How do you win against the goddess of victory? You don't. What do you think of Black Myth Wukong? I think it's looking amazing. I can't wait to get that game. Can Sun Wukong defeat a Greek god? I'm sure he can defeat almost all the Greek gods. Thoughts on how accurate is the Mummy movie? Oh, it's not that accurate. I might do a video on that eventually. Huge fan from Kenya. Love your work. Thank you. That's so cool. It's really nice to hear. All right, how far in are we? Oh, about 46 minutes. Okay, not so bad. Chaos versus Bill Cipher at full power. Bill Cipher at full power is basically Chaos. But he still got defeated, and Chaos never got defeated, so I'll give it to Chaos. Most powerful Egyptian god? Ma'at. Ma'at is the most powerful one. Favorite food and drink? My favorite food is pepperoni pizza. My favorite drink is root beer. In fact, I kind of want to get some right now. Favorite dinosaur? As a kid, and I don't think it's changed since then, it was a velociraptor. I love velociraptors. Hi from Croatia. Who's your favorite Greek hero? Heracles. And hello, Croatia. Nice. Would Black Panther be considered myth-related? Yeah, because he gets his powers from Bast in the story. Even though they make Bast a panther god, even though she's a cat goddess, not a panther goddess, but I guess a panther is a type of cat, so I guess you could say something like that. Favorite Egyptian god? Anubis. I have a statue of him over there. Yeah, and right behind me, hey, there's a statue of Sekhmet. Check it out. Nice. Alright, can you do Japanese mythology in Hell Teacher Noob? I haven't heard of that. Wonder what that is. Okay, who are the 7 deadly sins and who names them? Well, the 7 deadly sins, if I recall correctly, are wrath, greed, lust, envy, sloth, gluttony. What am I missing here? What am I missing here? There's only one left. What am I missing here? Pride. That's the 7th one. Okay. Sup from Albania. How is your bad movie project going? Hello, Albania. Actually, let me check how the bad movie project is going. I haven't checked in on it in a few days. And if you're wondering, why wouldn't you check in on that? Well, I'm not the main one running that, and I'm running a lot of other stuff, so I've got other things that I need to prioritize. How's the bad movie project going? It's about 1/3 of the way backed. Got about 2 weeks to go. So, we'll see. If it doesn't reach its goal, then, I don't know. I guess it won't happen. But, I appreciate you guys anyway. It's fine. Was there ever a personification of infinity in Egyptian myth? Not that I know of. I think the closest thing would be Ma'at, because Ma'at is the personification of all order. So, and that's infinite, so I guess you could say that. Okay, just curious, did you ever read the Percy Jackson books? Oh, yeah, totally. Check out my Percy Jackson reviews. What's your favorite myth? 12 Labors of Heracles. But wait, hold. Is Anubis more like Hades or Thanatos? I'd say more like Thanatos, because Anubis is the Grim Reaper of Egyptian mythology. Osiris is more the Hades of Egyptian myth. So yeah, Osiris is god of the underworld. Anubis is god of death. And preparing people for death. Just like Thanatos is god of death and Hades is god of the underworld. Hades and Osiris are actually running the underworld, while Thanatos and Anubis are handling the dead, Dinosaurs versus mythology. Thoughts? Well, I think mythology wins. But I do love dinosaurs. Something people pointed out, one thing I've heard that I really like is, I think this was in one of the Conjuring movies or something, was, there are some religious people who are like, dinosaurs never existed because they're not in the Bible, so we don't believe in dinosaurs. And it's like, someone says, well, do you believe in penguins? And they're like, yeah, well, penguins aren't in the Bible. The Bible doesn't have to cover any and everything to be real. It's just, it tells the stories it needs to tell. So that's it. So I guess I went a little off topic there, but your comment reminded me of that. So yeah. Sage LG, hey, the man himself is here. I say that because he's a Patreon supporter. He's been in a lot of past streams. It's good to see you, Sage. Thank you for the donation. Just backed the movie you're making. Oh, thank you. Can't wait to see it. By the way, have you seen Ragnarok on Netflix? If so, what's your opinion on it? So I haven't seen it yet, but I did check the thing on Netflix. It said it's official, another season is coming. So here's what I'm going to do. When the new season of Ragnarok drops, I'll binge the whole show, and then I'll do a video on the whole thing up until then. But from what I've seen, I really want to watch it. So yeah, I'm waiting for the new season to drop, and then I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm doing the same thing for The Hidden City, which is a Brazilian mythology show on Netflix. I'm waiting for season 2 to drop, and then I'll watch the whole thing, and I'll do a video on it. So yeah. That's how I'm going to do it. Because otherwise, if I talked about it now, it would be really, late. And, people would be like, why are you talking about it now? I think it's better to wait for the new season to come out and talk about it when people would want to hear me talk about it more. So, yeah. Have you seen Ice Age? Yeah. Who hasn't? What are your thoughts on Seth's lettuce incident? I think it's hilarious, and that's why I've done multiple videos talking about it. Thoughts on Hera and Frigg dating? I don't see how that would even happen. Hera, has looks down so much on infidelity, so I don't think that would ever happen. And she's a goddess of marriage, and, back in ancient times they didn't have gay marriage, so I don't see that happening. The Green Light Bulb, thank you for the donation. Minthy being turned into a plant. Overboard? Hey, if you try to bang a goddess's husband, you get what you get. I did a video on that, too. What would you do if they made the rest of the Percy Jackson movies? I'd review them all. What else would I do? Ma'at versus Chaos. That, like I said, it depends on what you think. Do you think Chaos would win, or do you think Order would win? I feel like it would just be, people always say Chaos and Order are just two sides of the same coin, so one can't really defeat the other. Odin versus Zeus, I've answered that twice. I'm not answering it again. I'm sorry. I have to try to prioritize questions I haven't already answered. Unless you're making a donation, in which case, well, I don't want you to waste your money, so... Well, I wanted to see the rest of that. Love from Norway. Thank you. What is your favorite monster in your favorite mythology? So my two favorite mythologies are Greek and Japanese. In Greek, my favorite monster is probably either like Typhon or the Chimera because I like monsters that have a lot going on. In Japanese, I really like the Baku. I said I like monsters that have a lot going on. I think the Baku is really like cool and really wholesome. Thoughts on Moon Knight? Check out my video talking about it if you want to know my thoughts on Moon Knight. Yin and Yang. Yin and Yang indeed. Do you know any of the 40k mythos? Not really. All I know is they have chaos gods and Horus is in there somewhere. Odin versus the Hydra? Oh, Odin. Of course Odin's going to win that fight. Zeus versus the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor, man, he'll win in a second. Favorite giant serpent monster from any mythology? Okay, it's I really love the Hydra. I also really love Kalia. It's probably one of those. No, it's probably Shesha, actually. I really like Shesha. There's a book called Icar. You should totally read it. Okay. Thoughts on Hades dating Hell? Man, Esteban, you love to ship, don't you? Well, Hades wouldn't cheat on Persephone, so I don't think that would happen. I know what Leviathan and Behemoth are, but I can't remember the third apocalypse beast. It's part that it's a giant bird. Do you know it? I honestly don't. That's one I don't really know. I don't know if there's like an air creature. I know a Native American has a giant thunderbird, and that's like one of their big not big bats, but big legendary beasts. So, I mean, I guess you could refer to that one. Mosquito Man had a good question. Oh, okay. Was there ever a person... Oh, I answered that. Was there ever a... Yep, that's my phone. Was there ever personification of infinity in Egyptian myth? Yeah, I answered. I said if there was, it was probably Ma'at, because like order is, I think, the closest thing to infinity that I know of, anyway. I want to see Kali in God of War. So do I, man. Do you know Aphrodite was the OG shipper? Yeah, and she was a totally toxic shipper. We have toxic shippers out there, like the Kylo Ray fan base is insanely toxic, going around harassing the actors and sending death threats to their families because they want them to leave their families and get together. So, you know, that's kind of what Aphrodite was like. Sorry, just texting this person to tell them why I can't answer the phone. Ares versus Artemis, who would win? God, I don't know. I think it depends. If Artemis, if it's a battle of stealth, Artemis wins. But if it's a head-on confrontation, I think it goes to Ares. Are there random chests with orbs in Athens? Check out the God of War inaccuracy vid and you'll find out. Bro, I've been spamming forever. Please answer. What is the... Okay, I gotta scroll back. What is the least interesting or worst mythology? Scientology. Scientology sucks ass. Yeah. Mythology guy, if they make another mythological... Okay, sorry, the chat's moving so fast. Sometimes the message zooms away and I have to find it now. If they make another mythological Assassin's Creed game, which mythology would you like to see? I would love to see an Aztec mythology Assassin's Creed game. But if we're just going to make a historical Assassin's Creed game, my most wanted one is the Wild West. I want a cowboy assassin so bad. Who's your favorite character from Inuit mythology? You know something I really love? I love how Inuit mythology has the killer whale wolves that walk on land. That's amazing. So, probably those. In a contest of pure strength, who wins, Heracles or Thor? If Thor doesn't have his gloves, I'm going to say Heracles. More Kratos vids, please. You'll get them. Thoughts on Muslim mythology? I know almost no Muslim myth. The only, sort of Islamic stories I know Arabian Nights really well. So there's that one. Favorite character? I already answered that. Thoughts on Athena and Mimir? If we're being mythology purists here, Athena's technically a virgin goddess. But if we're just being all shippy and shit, I think Athena and Mimir would get along really well. Those ideas sound awesome. Thank you. If you could take a selfie with any god, who would you take one with? I'd take one with Jesus, and then I'd post it online and watch everybody freak out. No, or God himself, and like see what happens. Thoughts on the Daedra myths, because I just read a book called Daedra Aegis on Rai, Daedra and the King. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't think I know that one. Which one is Daedric mythology? Is that Celtic or is that its own thing? Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second, I just want to make sure I'm not like saying the wrong thing. Daedric mythology. Oh, is Daedric Irish? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, if Daedric is Irish, I absolutely love Irish mythology. It's one of my more recent mythologies, so forgive me for not knowing that little fact about it. But it's amazing. Like, check out the tale of... Stop telling me to insert ads, YouTube. Leave me alone. This is for the fans. Like the... What was the tale I was going to say? The tale of Lugh of the Long Arm fighting Balor of the Evil Eye is amazing. Especially, and one story I really like is the tale of the brothers who wrong Lugh of the Long Arm, and then he sends them on the quest to get all these enchanted things for him. That's a really cool tale. The tale of Cuchulainn is awesome. The tale of Finn McCool is pretty good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. They've also got some really fun characters in Celtic myth. They have a boar who has a magic comb on his head, and everyone's chasing him to get the magic comb. It's funny. Turk Truth is that boar's name. If you could be a demigod, who would you want to be your divine parent? Probably Sun Wukong. I'd love to have his powers. Do you think Hera was a good god before her marriage, too? I think Hera's a fucking horrible person. So, I don't know about before marriage. It's hard to say. Is there a weapon that can kill a god? In Norse myth, there are plenty. But in Greek myth, no. Okay, what's going on here? Hold on, I'm just going to answer this, and then I expect you to stop, spamming this. Are demigods immortal as the Greek gods? No. If they are not, they can gain immortality like Hercules did with his 12 works. Well, here's the thing. Demigods are mortal, like mortals. They're not immortal like gods. They don't have to complete 12 labors to become immortal. What has to happen is Zeus has to turn you into a god. And Zeus chose to turn Heracles into a god because of all the cool shit Heracles had done. But there are other, humans who have become gods in Greek myth. Helen became a god. I think Ganymede became a god. A lot of characters have become gods. I listed some of them in the Hercules inaccuracy vid. So yeah, that's how it works, basically. Favorite character from Watchmen? Rorschach. Rorschach all the way. Do an Irish mythology. There's a Celtic mythology playlist on the channel. There's some Irish stuff there. Greatest Demigod, thank you for the donation. Can you have Jason in your card game? He's in there. Don't worry. He's in there. If Thor could beat Jormungandr, does that mean he can also beat the Leviathan? I mean, not necessarily. It's two different creatures. We don't really know the full power scale. Also, Thor died fighting Jormungandr, keep in mind. So, yeah. Favorite Percy Jackson character? Percy Jackson. I know that sounds like a lazy answer, but I legitimately just love Percy Jackson. What is Pandora's Box? Well, Pandora's Box, or Pandora's Pythos in the original version, was a box that contained all the evils of the world and hope at the bottom of it. The gods specifically made it just to punish humanity, and they made Pandora specifically to open it, because I guess the gods couldn't just open the damn box themselves. No, they wanted a way to blame humans for it, even though they used an artificial human to open it. It's kind of ridiculous. Can Doomguy be in your game? Unfortunately, no, he cannot. Who is the youngest god in any mythology? Well, the youngest one of all time is probably Jesus, because he's the newest one, I guess you would say. Yeah. Gotta go stream, keep being amazing. Oh, thank you, Andrew. One Andrew to another. Do you think Japanese mythology? I think you're asking, do I like Japanese mythology? I love Japanese mythology. Japanese mythology is amazing. I already answered the Hera question. Who is the oldest god? Well, it depends on what mythology we're talking. In Greek, it's chaos. In Hindu, do you count Shasha as a god? Because in Hindu, I believe it would be Shasha. If you don't, I think that it was Vishnu who spawned forth the other two. In Egyptian, it's Ma'at. In Norse, like, it's Emir. In, yeah, it's different depending on the mythology, really. They all say that the god began at the beginning of time, so yeah. Will Loki be in your card game? Of course! You can't have a Norse deck without Loki. Thoughts on Thor dating Heracles? Okay, well, Thor's not gay, so I don't know. That'd be interesting. Who is the smartest god? If we're pretending, if we're going by Christianity is real, it's the Christian God because he's omniscient. If we're going by polytheistic religions, a lot of people also say Shiva knows all, but I don't know. There's a lot of gods of wisdom. There's Athena, there's Mimir, there's Thoth, and Bragi. No, wait, Bragi's a poetry god, sorry. And so on and so on. Favorite primordial? Probably Nyx. I think Nyx is really cool. Who's older, God or Death? God, I guess, probably. When Kratos kills the gods and obtains his power, that could happen in real mythology? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're asking. Please rate the Rick Riordan books. Well, most of them are fantastic. My favorite one is Last Olympian. The Percy Jackson series will be the top series for me. The second top series is actually probably Trials of Apollo. I haven't finished it yet, but I love it so much. Then third top would probably be either King Chronicles or Heroes of Olympus. And then the bottom would be Magnus Chase, which sucks, because first Magnus Chase book, I loved it so much. I was like, oh my god, this is the best since the Percy Jackson series. But then it got weaker and weaker as the books went on. So that was unfortunate. HRK, thank you for the donation. Love your content. Have a good day, evening, my bro, and keep it up. Oh, thank you. Wow, okay. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice of you. Sorry, it's not... oh wait, yeah, it is HRK. Sorry, or is it HRK or is it Paka? Oh, HRK is the currency. I'm so sorry. I'm a fool. Your name is Pakawaka. Thank you so much for the kind words, Pakawaka. I really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm a little hungry. Helen Jean, thank you for the donation. Ukko versus Thor. I'm sorry, I don't know who Ukko is. I'm very sorry. I mean, you donated to me. I want to answer you. Who's Ukko? Did something get spelled wrong, or am I just an idiot? Ukko mythology. Oh no, Ukko. Oh, Ukko's the thunder god in Finnish myth. Oh, this guy looks cool. That's a cool looking god. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know enough Finnish mythology. I'm truly sorry. But he reminds me of Thor, so maybe they're a similar character, kind of like Perrin. Mason, thank you for the donation. Have you ever watched Lego Monkey Kid? If not, watch. I haven't, but I will. Thank you. I'm so impressed by your vast knowledge, it blows my mind that you remember all that. You know, it's like, we all have things that we can remember a lot of. And even me, like, I don't always remember everything. Like, sometimes I have to go back to one of my books to remind myself of something. So, it doesn't always work. Dickus Maximus says, have a good day, bro. Oh, thank you. Bye-bye. I'm glad you stopped by. Thank you so much. Thoughts? Oh my god, Esteban. Are we gonna ship every single character in all of Myth? My god. I don't know, Loki and Hermes together. Sure, they would play pranks on everybody. Somebody asked, monkey? Monkey indeed, my friend. Thoughts on evolution? I believe evolution is real. I still believe in God, but I also believe in science. I believe science... I believe science gives you the what, the where, and the when, and religion gives you the who and the why, and together you get the how. So, there you go. Out of all the God of War games, which is your favorite? I answered this a while ago, but it's probably the fourth one, with 3 being a very, very close second. Vishnu versus Shiva. Who wins? Shiva. Shiva's the destroyer. Vishnu's the preserver. I feel like Shiva would keep whacking Vishnu, but Vishnu's preserving himself, and it's like, oh, you can't kill me, I'm preserving myself. Perseus versus Heracles, who would win? Heracles. I think Heracles wins that fight. Are there any aliens referenced in mythology? Also, is Nike technically the most powerful god in mythology? What do you know about pagan gods, like the old ones? Okay, I do not know of any mythology that references aliens. Nike, like, I was kind of joking when I was like, you can't beat the goddess of victory, but I'm sure, like, they were afraid of Zeus to some level, because like, Nike and her siblings, they swore loyalty to him. So I'm sure Nike's not the most powerful one, technically. She's probably more of a celebration of victory than someone who literally will always win. What do I know about the pagan gods? I mean, quite a bit. I talk about Norse and Celtic and, like, Greek and other stuff. The old ones, like Cthulhu and stuff, I know very little. I've read the, like, Cthulhu story and the Lovecraft thing, but I haven't read deep into the lore of the great old ones. What if Kronos didn't eat his children? Then maybe things would be a lot more normal in Greek myth. Do you believe in black magic? I do not. Sorry about that. I believe that witchcraft was just a stupid overreaction by certain people. But, some people say, like, that they identify as witches now. Okay, I won't pretend to understand it, but, I'm not going to shit on you either. You have your beliefs, I have mine. What do you think of Norse Jotuns versus Greek Titans? I think the Greek Titans would win, because we know all the Jotuns can die. Hell, the biggest one of all, Ymir, died. So, I feel like the Greek Titans could beat the Jotuns, potentially. What would have happened if Hades did his job and didn't let Kratos out of the underworld 3 times? We would have had a much shorter God of War series, is what would have happened. Who is the worst character in Japanese mythology? It's very hard for me to answer questions about who's the worst or what's the worst of these mythologies, because I love these mythologies so much. It's really hard for me to think negatively on them in order to say who's the worst. Worst character in Japanese mythology, if we're just talking about out of, like, look, obviously there's a lot of horrifying villains in Japanese mythology. One of the worst characters is Oiwa-san's husband. Fuck that guy. And he got what he deserved. So there you go. Oiwa-san's husband sucks ass. I hate him. Okay. I'm going to try to answer this clump of questions here. When I already answered when Kratos defeat... Oh, no, wait. I didn't understand the question here. When Kratos kills the god... defeats the gods, he kills them, obtains the power. That could happen in real mythology, like Greek, Norse, Japanese mythologies. I mean, I don't think it could happen in any mythology except Norse, honestly. Oh, actually, Japanese, the gods can be killed also. So there's another one for you, but it wouldn't actually work in Greek. If Ares was involved directly in 2 world wars, would there be more casualties? Or he would be sickened by the capacity of humanity in being violent. It depends on what your thoughts of Ares are. Like, if your thoughts of Ares are that he's the, like, guy who likes to incite more conflict, then yes, there would be more casualties. But some people believe that Ares is not an inciter of war. He is simply the war itself and goes there simply to just do his part in it. So, honestly, either of your questions could be correct. Do you know about Jung's theories about mythology? Will you ever do a video about biblical mythical beasts? I would love to do a video about biblical mythical beasts, honestly, and I probably will in the future. I don't know about Jung's theories, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Thoughts on Ares and Tyr? Oh my god. Next one is the last one, I swear. Fine. Okay. Ares and Tyr. That's another relationship I don't see working. Ares and Tyr are 2 very, very different people. Captain Omni, thank you for the donation. Would you say King Kong's name was based on Sun Wukong? Yes, actually I would. I believe we get the word Kong mainly from Sun Wukong, and I've actually thought that for a while now, and yeah, I actually didn't talk about it up until this point, so yes, I completely agree with you, Captain Omni. Typhon or Thanatos, who would win? Oh, Typhon! Like, come on, it took, like, all of Olympus had to fight Typhon. Yeah, Thanatos isn't winning that fight. What is Ragnarok? Ragnarok is basically the ending of Norse myth. It's when all of the good guys will fight all of the bad guys and 99% of them will die. And then the survivors and what's left of humanity will start a new age. Favorite Filipino myth or character? Oh, I love the Capra. The Capra is hilarious. It's probably the Capra. Do you know any Celtic mythology? Yeah, I know a lot of Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Arthurian legends. And there's a playlist of me doing some of them on the channel. Do you think Godzilla is a demigod? No, I don't. Or a god monster? No, I don't. I think he's just a kaiju. And fun fact, Godzilla is partially inspired by a Japanese yokai known as Honengyo. So there you go. Jesus wants a shout out. Okay, the Jesus, shut up! There you go. And that's the only shout out I'm doing today, so please don't start spamming for shout outs. What's the ending of Greek mythology? Greek mythology doesn't have a definitive ending, but I think one of the latest stories in all of Greek mythology is the Theogony. Oh no, not Theogony, sorry. The Telegony, which is like how Odysseus died. Because one of the latest Greek myth stories is the Trojan War, and after that is the Odyssey, and after that is the Telegony. So it's probably the Telegony is the last one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you know any Slavic myths like Moroz? Yes, I know some Slavic myths. I know about Morzana, Perun, Veles, Chernobog, Baba Yaga, few of the creatures, few of the characters, yada yada. I've done a couple of Slavic videos in the past. Strongest warrior in the Mahabharata, excluding Krishna and Balram. Well, then it's probably Arjun, honestly, because Arjun is like the most skilled of the Pandav brothers. It's either Arjun or Karna, but Arjun ended up beating Karna, so you could say it's Arjun. What do you think of the Lucifer series? You can check out my videos talking about it, and that's how you'll find out. I've answered Zeus versus Odin 3 times. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that again. Hecate versus Hera, who would win? I think Hecate's got that one. I'm still on how Heimdall has 9 moms. So am I, man. So am I. Do you think Goku could beat Zeus? Yes, I do. Goku is based on the Monkey King, and I believe the Monkey King could beat Zeus. Do you play Smite any? Used to. Might try to get back into it in the future. What happened after Ragnarok? After Ragnarok, Magni and Modi were the survivors, and Baldur came back from the dead because Hel wasn't there to watch over him anymore. So Magni, Modi, and Baldur led the remaining humans to a new age. So that's what happens after Ragnarok. How's the movie? Oh, you mean the movie I'm working on. Like I said, it's about 1/3 funded, and we'll see if we get the movie made. And if we get the movie made, it'll be a lot of fun. Finally got my question answered? Well, I'm happy for you. Thoughts on the Incas? The Incas I know a little bit about, but my strongest Mesoamerican mythology is Aztec. Then my second strongest is Mayan. Inca is the one I'm really scratching the surface on with that one. Green Light Bulb, thank you for another donation. Did you know the name Baba Yaga was used in SD? No, I did not know that. Who would win Surt versus Zeus? That's a good question. Probably Zeus. What's your favorite anime? Food Wars. Love it to death. I haven't seen the final season yet, though. I didn't get any of my questions answered. Oh, I'm sorry. Try again. I'll do my best. What mythology do you like the most? It's either Greek or Japanese. Would Thor actually beat Zeus? It doesn't make sense to me. So, if we're going completely mythologically accurate, no, because Zeus is unkillable and Thor is killable. But if we're assuming they're both killable, I personally go by Thor would win up close, Zeus would win from a distance. Dionysus versus Heracles. Okay, I think actually Dionysus would win that. And let me tell you why. We know Heracles is susceptible to being driven mad. He's been driven mad by Hera twice. Dionysus is the literal god of madness. Dionysus, like, wouldn't beat Heracles in a fight, obviously, but he would be able to subdue Heracles. Camera is shaking a lot. Okay, sorry. Here, let me stabilize this. There we go. Hopefully that'll stop the shaking. Last one, I swear. Thoughts on Helios and Selene and Sol and Manny in a polyamory relationship? Holy shit! Helios would be having a great time, and I guess so would Manny. What do you call an all... Oh, wait. I wanted to answer that. Where'd that go? Here we go. What do you call an all-seeing dog? A werewolf. The word aware and then wolf. That's great, actually. Can I use that? I'd love to use that. Apollo versus Artemis, who wins? Oh, Artemis. Artemis wins that. If you do make a movie, where can I watch it? So the Kickstarter backers are going to get free copies of it, and then after we make it, we'll try to release it on either YouTube or Amazon or something. Thoughts on Telemachus and Nausicaa? I'm not sure I know who Nausicaa is. Telemachus, for anyone who doesn't know, is Odysseus' son, and his other son is Telegonus. Telemachus is the son of Odysseus and Penelope. Telegonus is the son of Odysseus and Circe. And what's fucked up is after Odysseus died, Telegonus married Penelope and Telemachus married Circe. So these two half-brothers started banging each other's moms. So fucked up. Brian, thank you for the donation. Big fan, thanks. No, you're welcome. Thank you. Honestly, that's really cool. Do you love theater? I did theater, like in my senior year and in college. Hi to you too. How does Greek mythology end? I talked about this earlier. It doesn't technically have a definitive ending. I think the latest Greek story is the Telegony, though. I already answered the Hera question, so yeah. Will you rate the Percy Jackson show when it comes out? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Hades versus Poseidon, who wins? We don't really have a way of knowing. We know Poseidon could potentially be a match for Zeus, but we don't know much about Hades' power level because he never fights anyone or gets involved in anything. He fought in the Titan War and then he never fought again. Dionysus versus the whole population of Valhalla, who would win? I could see that going two different ways. One, Dionysus could use their drink against them and defeat them all, or two, they've drunk so much they've built up an immunity, and Dionysus can't defeat them anymore. So, I could see it going either way. Do you have any advice for creating a mythology? Well, I've never created a mythology before, but, my advice would be, well, it's the same as most basic storytelling advice. Flesh out the characters well. Mythology, keep in mind, mythology is meant to explain phenomena. That's something you have to keep in mind. So you gotta, if you want to have it feel like a real mythology, the stories have to explain why certain things happen. Like, why does the sun do what it does? Why do the seasons happen when they do? How does certain shit work? And also, it's always fun to have tales of humans who are trying to do things, like, in addition to, like, tales of the gods and tales of certain monsters that need to be overcome. And, you know, stuff like that. What would get you to review fan writing? Oh, you mean a fan fiction? Well, I technically reviewed Changing of the Gods, and that was a book that a fan of mine wrote, so, I don't know. You guys are free to, like, send me, like, your fanfic if you want, but keep in mind, I have a lot going on, so I will try to get to it, but, like, I unfortunately can't guarantee I'll get to it really quick. I've read some fan stories that people have sent me over Discord and really liked them, but I do also still have several others that I still haven't gotten to yet, because it's, like, pages of stuff. And I still have to make daily videos and work on my card game and work on the Gods of Egypt to review and do this and lots of stuff. So I'm just saying, you're more than welcome to send me your stuff, but don't expect me to see it right away. That's the thing. If I finish a Greek mythology-based book I'm writing, what would get you to edit or review it? Oh, well, what I just said, yeah. Oh, if you straight up write a whole goddamn book, Okay, first of all, I'm not an editor, okay? I'm not an editor. Don't rely on me to be an editor. If I check out your book and I see spelling mistakes, I'll let you know, but I'm not an editor. If you actually get a Greek mythology book published, first of all, even if you don't get it published and you send it to me, I'm down to check it out. If you get a Greek mythology book published and you want me to check it out, I'll check it out all the more because I'll be all the more curious. But, it's like, it depends on how things are going for me personally. Thanks for the answer. You're welcome. What's the biggest cat in mythology? Probably the Yule cat from, Yule myth. It's the giant cat that eats children who aren't wearing new clothes for Christmas. It's fucked up. Either that or Bast. We don't know if Bast can become gigantic, so maybe. Thoughts on Zubaji? Oh, I love Zubaji. Zubaji is like a really fun character. Opinion on the Justice Society? You mean from DC? It's all right. It's interesting. I prefer the Justice League. Dr. Manhattan versus every Greek god. Who wins? The Greek gods. They won. Yeah. Like, Dr. Manhattan can manipulate matter, but the Greek gods are made of something else. Why were Hades' children Nazis and Percy Jackson? You'd have to ask Rick Riordan. Thor versus Ares. Who wins? I think Thor wins that one. Hypnos versus Dionysus. Who wins? I think Hypnos could very easily put Dionysus to sleep. The man is always drinking. And if Hypnos can put Zeus to sleep, he can put Dionysus to sleep. What Egyptian god would you want to be and why? Well, I don't know that... Bes. If I'm going to be any of them, I would be Bes. I love Bes. Bes protects households when they need protecting and protects children and babies and stuff. I would want to do that. Stupidest myth you've read. The Great Gambling Match. What the hell? Yudhishthir, what the hell is wrong with you? You know the man is cheating. You're supposed to be the wisest Pandav, or whatever the hell. You know the man is cheating. You know you're gonna lose, and yet you keep playing the stupid game and gambling all your shit away. You gamble away everything you own, all your titles. You bet your brothers. You bet your wife. You're an idiot. I couldn't stand that damn story, The Great Gambling Match. It drove me nuts. Can the chat calm down? Oh, I don't think that'll work. Are Satan and Lucifer the same person? Yeah. My lord, are you a calm and reasonable person? Not when I think of that story. We're coming up on an hour and a half, so I'm gonna wrap it up soon. But I'll try to answer as many of these as possible. Thor versus SCP-343. I'm sorry, I don't know what SCP-343 is. Oh, Heldrake, thank you for the donation. React to historically accurate Hercules by Flash Kits? Oh, definitely. That sounds really cool. Historically accurate Hercules. I'm guessing you've seen the God of War Ragnarok trailer and I'm guessing you've seen the God of War Ragnarok gameplay trailer, so I'll simply ask, do you have any idea what the frog-like creatures could be? Never in my life have I seen them in Norse mythos. I did a video talking about that trailer, and I addressed the same thing you're talking about, so you can check that out to see what I hear. Baba Yaga versus Wendigo? I think Baba Yaga wins that one. Do you think Adam and Eve could have been hairy monkey people? I actually strongly believe they were hairy monkey people. Did Odysseus reincarnate as Lieutenant Columbo? I wouldn't know. Persephone versus Demeter, who would win? I think at this point Persephone could win. Who is powerful, Methuselah or Melchizedek? I don't know, maybe Methuselah. Is it true that Zagreus is the son of Hades in Greek mythology? Yes, it is. Would you choose to be stuck in hell or be married to Hera? I'd rather be married to Hera. I'd probably try to be a good husband and see what happens. Do you like Korean cinema? Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's great. Train to Busan, Miracle in Cell Block 7. Really great films. What's your best pun? I mean, that's for you people to decide, I guess. My favorite one was probably when I was like, are you saying you're Poseidon with my puns? Like, that was a fun one. Beerus versus Shiva, who wins? Beerus is based on Shiva, so they're the same character, basically. But probably Shiva. What mythology do you like the least? Scientology. Hey man, just drop by, tell you I love your vids, keep up the good work, thank you so much. OSP or Gaijin Goomba crossover? If I ever get a chance, I'd love to. How's your day? It's going pretty good. I love you guys. Is Beelzebub the devil? He's a version of the devil, yeah. Opinion on Jurassic Park / World franchise. It's very hit or miss. First Jurassic Park is great. Second one's third one's Jurassic World's Jurassic World Dominion is an absolute piece of shit that makes me want to kill people. And the third one is I had fun with it. From what area is Slavic mythology? Slavic territories like Russia. Rebel Commander, thank you for the donation. Favorite pirate myth? How accurate is Pirates of the Caribbean? Well, the thing is, pirate myth is insanely inconsistent because pirates weren't like an organized religion. But my favorite pirate myth is the Kraken, and so Pirates of the Caribbean did come up with a lot of its own like stuff. So, but you know, it was accurate here and there. Lane, thank you for the donation. Love your content, Andrew. Thank you. Sun Wukong versus Archangel Michael. Ooh. Just FYI, his battle with Satan knocked down 1/3 of the stars in the cosmos. Yeah, that would be a really interesting thing to see. But I might still give it to Sun Wukong because of the reasons I mentioned before. YouTube as a platform sucks at times, doesn't it? At times, yeah. Why is there a centaur in God of War Ragnarok when it's Greek, not Norse? I talked about that in the reaction video. Go check that out. Sea people count as pirates? I guess so. Do you think there is any sexual tension between Athena and Poseidon, like hidden reason for the animosity between them? I really don't think so, no. What did Sun Wukong actually do? Oh my god, we'll be here all day if I have to tell you what Sun Wukong did. Maybe, I don't know, go check out Overly Sarcastic Productions video. Or you can check out my video on how he got all his immortalities. I hope you top 1 million subscribers soon. Thank you, I hope that too. Disney is buying Norse mythology. That's funny. That's funny. Will you ever go to Ars Gotia and all the beings in it? Maybe eventually. Do you know about the biblically accurate angels? Yes, I do. And maybe I'll do a video on them eventually. Is Beelzebub a fly? I think you're... I can't remember what you're referencing. I know that's referencing something. Who's the most underrated god? Zhong Kui. I never see people talk about him and he's amazing. Who would win Thor? I already answered that. How much do you think Dionysus drinks a year? All of it. I think he drinks all of it a year. Okay. TikTok is being stupid? Yes, it absolutely is. And, okay. Favorite moment in the Mahabharata? The Kurukshetra War. That's my favorite moment in it. And I'm gonna stop there, you guys. I am tired. I am really hungry. I have not eaten yet today, and I need to go eat something. Oh, man. I love you guys. I love doing this. It's been an hour and a half, though, and I'm going to have to cut it here because I'm really hungry. I still need to make today's art lore video. And I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate your kind words so much. You've been really nice. You've been really supportive. I couldn't ask for a better audience. And yeah, even when YouTube and TikTok are annoying, I still love my job because I love all of you. And you really make me happy. You make me very, very happy. I'm going to my high school reunion tomorrow, and, you know, it's something I used to, like, kind of dread, like, a few years ago, because a few years ago I felt like a total loser. But now I feel like a winner, honestly. I have a job that I absolutely love. I really like my life, and I'm looking forward to going to my reunion, and when people ask me what I do, I'm really looking forward to answering them, because I'm legitimately happy. You guys have made me legitimately happy, and I can't thank you enough. And Wilda, I don't know if you're watching this, you were an instrumental part of that, and you've made me legitimately happy too. Thank you for that. Thank you for every single one of you. It's why I do these Q&As. It's because I absolutely love interacting with my wonderful, wonderful audience. Alright, well, I'm the Mythology Guy, and I do not know how to end videos. Bye-bye, guys.